Hello everyone, this is false advertising. Let me change this. Rifkin to Fear Dragon, and Rifkin's image to a face. Oh, that didn't work. Hi Fear Dragon.
Production value. Hello. How's it going?
An interesting screen region. That must have been me trying to screen region his camera shit. Fear Dragon.
Welcome everyone. How was your day? I hope it's going well. Ours is going well.
Alright.
Didn't you get to watch a bunch of StarCraft earlier today?
There we go. I did actually. I watched the Pro League finals, which was interesting for anyone who hasn't watched it, I guess. I actually got up and I went to bed early. I got up early actually instead of just going back to sleep. And after, because there was time left, I worked out. So I'm all ready to go, which is amazing. I feel like such an adult. Oh,
Yeah, I did the opposite. I, for some reason, thought that the GSL finals were last night until yesterday. And then someone told me, I was like, wait a second. Yeah, that makes sense. The Pro League finals are tonight. And then I ended up just playing board games while drinking beer with friends until like 12:30.
That's so pretty
And then
cool.
I got up and watched Wardy's Team League. Or not Team League, his Wardy Open.
Yeah, that's a cool day, I guess. Well, you might be wondering why we're a little bit early if you're expecting the balance tournaments. We were actually given the OlimoLeague decider matches a couple of days ago, and I figured we'll just cast them before this to get a nice little bump, I suppose. Plus, I'm going to be away tomorrow, and then Corsair Cup, it would be a little bit, dicey to put on the tail end of that, considering the OlimoLeague that's coming up this week is going to be at, 5 a.m. So, gotta get up early for that. I'm still not sure who was casting that, by the way. Is it me or you and me and Rifkin?
This upcoming OlimoLeague?
Yeah, I might be solo casting that, actually. I have no idea.
Okay, well, we can sort that out later, but I might be able to join you.
Okay, because this says maybe Rifkin. So, of course, Rifkin's at PAX Prime, and hopefully he's having a good time, but that's why he's not here. That's also why the bot isn't on. We're on no delay right now, because these are from replays, obviously. And, well, I hope you can enjoy the game. So, we do have the brackets. I think it works with Nightbot's command, so you can check that out. But the story is that Neeb and Armani would have made it so there were no tiebreakers, but Neeb has to go to WCS Mexico, and they're sending him out pretty early. So he's actually not going to be around or traveling very shortly after the OlimoLeague. And Armani apparently is kind of retiring. He's not playing anymore. So that's really disappointing because he was actually on the cusp of getting to Solar's level, I feel, versus Terran, and actually making a name for himself. But well. Feels bad. So we have a lot of the people who had the points below them, which, I mean, if you ever actually look at the OlimoLeague standings, the top one's usually very clear because they won a monthly or even two. And then, okay for the rest. And then there's a lot of fighting for the last spots. And then beyond those are 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 2 point, 2 point, 2 point. So they're actually a lot of tiebreakers. So there's 4 people. Seong, which I don't even remember ever casting. Hurricane, Pet, and Rook. So I remember Hurricane and Pet, but I really don't remember Seong or Rook getting to the semifinals ever. I guess the quarterfinals might have done points. I actually have no idea. But anyway, that's who we're going to be casting today. If you can check the bracket, they're all best of ones. It is a double elimination format, but it should be kind of quick. And then we're going to go into the balance test mod tournament, which should be very interesting because they also recently changed it, yesterday. Yeah.
So did they change it or did they just announce the changes? I wasn't sure because I can never tell what these balance test map updates.
I'm not sure. I just read the community feedback update. We released the 3 balance changes we discussed last week to the TEP map yesterday. So no, they changed it.
Okay.
Cool. So we'll go over those, of course, when we're actually casting that. I am ready. All right, so that's all the hubbub and whatnot. Let's actually get into the games. So you have it all ready to go, and let's get going. Press the button. New Gettysburg is the first map.
Always a good map.
Sure,
And,
for some people.
For some people. Do you not like this map?
No, I'm talking about Pro League, but I can't talk about it because, to be fair,
is this the
Whoopsie.
Zest map?
Yeah. Oh, I was also kind of playing this game, so I'm gonna put this down here. All right. So yes, it is a best of one. So there wouldn't be bets anyways, you guys. I'm just throwing it out there. And in the bottom left, as the blue Terran, he is Jinsong, which is not what his Hangul says, but apparently that's his real name.
And in the bottom right, we have the red Protoss player. Give it up for Hurricane.
Yep. Well, we had a couple of resubs, of course, over time, basically, since we've been off the air for 2 days. 2.5. Not sure where this would have left off. I think Melee... Oh, what the hell? I just refreshed. Melee Mage, I think we did. Lament sounds a little bit familiar, but BBG, BCG resub for 7 months 3 days ago. And then we just had Flying Sheepman resub for 9 months in a row. Hi, looks like I made a baby. Maybe you did. Is it a boy or a girl? Oh, once again, got rid of that thingy. That's a relic of the past. Alright, so... yeah, New Gettysburg, PvT, Hurricane, definitely the favorite guy, just because I recognize his name, basically. I really don't remember the other guy at all.
Yeah, I'm not too sure who he is either. But we already do see some sort of opening over here from our Terran player. It's going to be the really common one-base play that a lot of Terran players have been going for. I'm really curious, besides this being sort of a strong potential opening, and obviously you can expand behind this, this doesn't become a straight-up all-in. Do you know why this is caught on in the meta so much? Is it just like Terrans don't really like going to a certain stage of the game against Protoss these days?
I wouldn't say, I really don't think it would have changed because they're hoping to get a free win off of this. The amount of times I've seen a free win off of this is, well, it's been drastically reduced since, I suppose, 5 months ago. So maybe initially it was, like, just hoping to get a free win. Anyway, we saw Ryung run his Hellions in and actually just win in, like, Season 1, for instance. But... if I gotta guess for here, first of all, okay, Cyclone openers have becoming a little bit more popular in the last 2 weeks, so we're seeing that here. That's always fun to see. They're pretty good defensively, but they do have some offensive capability as well. But I was gonna say that if you do a one-base opener, then the shenanigans of the Protoss seem to be a little bit lighter. Like, they can't do the pylon rush. If they try and proxy something, you're gonna find that out pretty quickly, and they're probably not gonna be able to use it that well. And of course, it just plays to aggressive styles a bit more.
Yeah. We are going to see a second barracks also being thrown down before we actually ever end up seeing a starport. In fact, 3 barracks going down. So it's going to be a while before the Protoss player really has to worry about drop harassment, but this Adept really shouldn't be able to accomplish a whole lot. In fact, it's going to die before the Shade even finishes off, so not really even going to get much of a scout, besides the Cyclone, which is honestly a pretty good scout.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of already a scouts. I mean, seeing the command center timing, I did. Okay, you did. But the starport timing specifically is like ideal. That's what Observer is for, and hopefully that thing will get over as soon as possible. Cyclone not able to do too much just because there is that high ground here. Actually, might have been able to get another Adept, but yeah, because there's no pylon. But not gonna risk it. I mean, it could get a mothership core. A scan would be worth a mothership core to keep that lock on going, but I don't think he's gonna try for it.
I don't even know if the Adepts actually have enough DPS to kill the Cyclone before the Cyclone would kill the Mothership Core.
Yeah, the Cyclone dies pretty quickly, but if all it needs to do is lock on, and then they can run away, and then I don't think they could. Like, it'd be pretty close, but that is a risk that our Terran player is not going to take. He actually saw nothing, so he didn't see, he saw not the lack of a pylon, which could have been a little bit closer to the Nexus. He didn't see the Nexus. It kind of sucks. Did that just kill an Adept? Oh no, I just shot an Adept.
So he's going to get away with it, unfortunately, for a Terran player, but that is still sort of the way things go if you don't take the risks. Which is understandable. You don't want to just like take a bunch of damage unnecessarily on your Cyclone. Because most Protoss players will have that pylon down there.
Yeah.
But I guess that does mean that Hurricane gets up that pylon a little bit faster at the third expansion. Widowmine is blocking that third expansion right now, though, which is very annoying, especially considering the Observer, I think, was on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it did go directly across. So while that means his third base a little bit later, it means he knows the exact timing of the starports, which honestly could have been two barracks into a starport or 3 barracks after that Cyclone opener. So, I mean, a little bit of information here would be worth the confidence keeping this third base alive, even if it starts a little bit later. The Terran's opener does mean that Stim and Combat Shield is going to work out well with the Medivacs too, so it's going to be kind of a deadly push.
Adept's trying to get a little bit of damage done with the Warp Prism. Just trying to do anything that he can, but this really does seem like it's going to be a pretty heavy gateway-focused army. It's not going to go into the crazy forms of like tech that some Protoss players will like to go for, getting up a faster Storm or getting up Disruptors or anything of the sort. So we'll see how well this goes for Hurricane. With Blink, I think it can be effective, but you really just want to be buying time with this, I think.
Marines push out before Medivacs is a little weird. Almost like they're looking for... No, they're going to go through the north. Not really necessary, I would say, with the amount of units he has and the fact that they're all upgraded. Probably could have gone through the middle, no problem. Just make sure the Medivacs don't go through first. And because he goes through the north, he's going to lose a Medivac, which is pretty unfortunate.
Oh, man. And these Stalkers might even just continue to push on in. Will he be able to defend his third with just flips and overcharges? I think it's possible with that and maybe a couple of warpins. His gateways are finishing up as well.
I mean, Hurricane's got to know there's an army coming his way, and he's going to give up the third base, which is fine, but does he have enough pylons of the natural is my question. I would prefer him pulling down like 4 right at the front here, and not thinking about it, just thinking about, oh my god, I'm killing so many SEVs. This really should not have... 1 Marine to the middle of the map would have solved this problem. Or the entire army to the middle of the map.
It is BaseTradeTV, so of course we got to start the day with a base trade, and this Marine army is dying rather quickly with 1 Medivac to heal. If that Medivac even gets focus fired down, like, I don't actually know how this works, but it seems like it doesn't, so the Medivac survives, and these Marines are going to eventually heal up from the stims.
Eventually. I mean, she's going to run dry first, though. I definitely give this to Hurricane. He has a bigger army supply overall, and I mean, honestly, it could have been done a little bit better. Like, the pylons all could have been done, and these units would honestly already be dead, but they're so weak, they barely count as army supply anyway.
Yeah.
And that's going to be game.
Yeah, no coming back from that. Loses
God.
everything. Oh god, Flood. You know what? There are island bases, but it looks like it's not going to go for GG.
I was like, oh, you're that type of player. I see. Nah. Alright, so didn't know much about this guy, but Hurricane does take the 1-0 and moves on. There is a loser's bracket, but next we're going to be casting Pet versus Rook. Rook sounds familiar, just not within the last month, so I'm really surprised to see him here with a point or 2 under his belt. Maybe it was like the very first week of the month that we saw him, because there was like a kind of a, let's call it a week OlimoLeague, where there was a couple of up-and-comers that got pretty far, but I didn't think it was recently. But my mind's also out of whack, so who cares, whatever. Let's just get into it. Also on New Gettysburg, as these are all default maps chosen here. If you didn't see on the bracket, forgot to mention, the top 2 qualifies. This really is going to be a short little precast to the balance map.